Hi, I'm Cody.
Hi, I'm Savannah.
And welcome to the Homemade Revelation. Today we're here to talk about pudding. So, I had, as a child, like her age and younger, had only ever had instant pudding, like the little packet, milk, put it in the fridge, it hardens up. And one day my mom said something about my grandma making pudding on the stove. And I thought it was like the grossest thing ever. Like, why would you cook pudding? Well, then I tried a pudding pie that my husband just had to have one time, where I cooked the filling on the stove and then put it in a pie crust, and it was delicious. My kids are loud. So, it was absolutely delicious, but I still just didn't really click that that's like the type of pudding that you just put in a bowl and eat. So, last year, a couple years ago, we got a milk cow. And I had so much milk, I didn't know what to do with it. I mean, we made cheese, we made yogurt, we made butter, we drank milk.
With every meal.
Every meal. We still had more pudding, or we still had more milk. We were even feeding it to the pigs, and we still had milk. So I finally found this recipe for homemade pudding. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. My kids love it. Love it. And it's so easy. It takes maybe 10 minutes tops. I throw it in the fridge, and a few hours later, we have absolutely delicious pudding. So in the coming up video, I'm gonna show you how to make it, but I actually made it yesterday so that I could show you it. It's a little on the dark side because I used some dark chocolate, but that's just between me and you. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. Hi, back again. With today being St. Patrick's Day, we thought it would be a perfect day to make our homemade pudding and share it with our guests. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our 1-year-old peanut gallery rolling around the background. All you need for this is sugar, cocoa, cornstarch, milk, butter, and vanilla. We're going to get started by pouring all of the powdered products, which is the sugar, cocoa, and cornstarch, into the pot and get them stirred really well with whisk. First, I have 1 1/4 cup sugar, 3/4 cup cocoa powder, and 2 cups cornstarch. All right, Savannah's gonna go ahead and blend this up real nice with the whisk until everything's evenly distributed. Now we're ready to go ahead and pour in 4 1/2 cups of whole milk. Now, you can use any milk that you want. Today I'm using 1% because it's what I have on hand. And as I told you before, this all came about from me having too much raw cow's milk to use. So let's go ahead and get this all whisked together nice and well. All right, now that that's whisked together, we're gonna go ahead and turn the stove on to medium. All right, we're gonna just keep stirring this until it comes to a boil. So stir, stir, stir. Stir, stir, stir. Make sure you keep going the whole time. You don't want any scorching of your pudding. So as you can see, when it starts to boil, it's already starting to thicken up along the edges. So keep that stirring, otherwise you'll end up with really lumpy pudding and you want it super smooth. This is Okay, now that it's boiled for a full minute, it's starting to thicken up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off of heat, scoot it over. And at this point, we're gonna go ahead and dump in the vanilla and the butter. So I just added the tablespoon of vanilla and 4 tablespoons of butter, and just gonna stir that while it melts and just keep moving it until that's all blended in. Once you do that, you're gonna wanna continue to stir occasionally while it cools completely. Otherwise, you'll end up with a film on top. Now that the pudding has cooled, we're gonna go ahead and pour it into a bowl. Make sure we scrape really good. Now you can pour this into individual cups. What my kids love to do pudding pops.
Pudding pops.
You just pour it right in there once it's cooled and put it straight in the freezer. When they come out, they're absolutely delicious. Because I'm doing this to have company, I'm just going ahead and putting it in a bowl. And then I go ahead and smooth it out really good. My daughter's being noisy. And then the trick to not getting a icky film on the top of your pudding while it cools is you go ahead and get a piece of saran wrap, hopefully, and you don't just cover the top. You actually take the saran wrap and press it down. All right, so we take the saran wrap and actually push it down where it's touching this top of the pudding all the way around. And in doing that, it keeps it from getting like a weird chewy film on top. All right. Great. I'm going to go ahead and put the pudding in the fridge to let it cool. Now, a couple options that you can do is put wild orange essential oil in it. I'd start with a drop, whisk it until you get the flavor that you're wanting. You don't want to do too much, it'll get really strong, but that chocolate orange flavor is super yummy. Another one is I will put in my homemade raspberry powder. You can buy this at the store or like on Amazon or something like that, but I make my own by dehydrating raspberries and then blending them. We're feeding the baby pudding down here apparently. So I would take out about 1/8 of a cup of the cocoa powder when you're making it and add in about 1/8 of a cup of the raspberry powder, and then maybe add a little bit more to your taste, but it just turns out really good, almost like a truffle.